Have you ever watched your whole life shatter right on the screen of a cell phone? I was staring at my wife Sarah's phone, sitting on the cold marble of our kitchen island here in Chicago. The screen was lit up with a name I didn't recognize, Mark. Beneath it, message preview glowed, burning itself into my memory. He has no idea, does he? Can't wait for tonight. But the part that really broke me, the part that stopped my heart cold, was seeing her reply just below it. He's too clueless to ever figure it out. See you at the Drake? My hand started shaking, the phone feeling like a hot coal in my palm. This wasn't just a text. It was the end of everything I thought I knew. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel, tell us where you're from, and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. For 15 years, Sarah had been my world. We built a life together from nothing, right here in Lincoln Park. I poured everything I had into our marriage, into our home, into making her happy. I worked 2 jobs in the early days so she could finish her design degree. I supported her dream of opening her own interior design firm, even when it meant mortgaging our future. I thought we were a team, a fortress. But that text message revealed our fortress was made of sand, and the tide was coming in. The humiliation washed over me in waves. Clueless. That's what she called me. The man who loved her more than life itself was just a clueless obstacle. It felt like a physical blow, knocking the air right out of my lungs. I remember walking into a client dinner a week later, forcing a smile as Sarah, draped on my arm, charmed everyone in the room. Inside, I was screaming. Everyone saw us as the perfect couple, the envy of our friends. They had no idea I was living with a stranger, a woman who looked at me with contempt when she thought I wasn't watching. Her behavior started changing subtly at first. She'd come home late from client meetings, smelling faintly of a cologne that wasn't mine. She'd guard her phone like it contained state secrets, taking it with her even into the bathroom. There were sudden weekend work trips that I wasn't invited to. When I'd ask questions, trying to connect, she'd shut me down with cold efficiency. You wouldn't understand, it's work stuff, she'd say, her voice laced with an impatience that was new and terrifying. She started criticizing me constantly. My clothes were wrong, my jokes weren't funny, my very presence seemed to irritate her. She was building a wall between us, brick by painful brick, and I was on the outside looking in, freezing in the cold. The real discovery was a slow, agonizing process. It started with that text, but I needed more. I needed to know the truth, no matter how much it hurt. One night, I found a receipt from a restaurant on Rush Street, a place we'd never go, dated for a night she claimed she was working late at the office. Then came the credit card statements. Hotel charges at the Peninsula, a place she swore was for a design conference, flowers sent to an address I didn't recognize. Each discovery was another nail in the coffin of our marriage. The worst was a phone call I accidentally overheard. She was in the other room, her voice low and intimate, a voice I hadn't heard directed at me in years. She was laughing, whispering about a weekend getaway to Lake Geneva. When she hung up and saw me standing there, her face hardened. It was a client, she snapped, her eyes daring me to challenge her. That's when the Sarah I knew vanished completely. She became a master manipulator. She'd turn my questions back on me, accusing me of being insecure and controlling. She'd gaslight me, making me question my own sanity. You're imagining things, she'd say, her voice dripping with faux concern. Maybe you're just stressed from work. She and this ghost, this Mark, felt untouchable. They were living a secret, thrilling life right under my nose, and they were laughing at me. I saw it in her smug smile, in the way she'd look at her phone and hide a smirk. They were basking in their betrayal, confident that the clueless husband would never catch on. The arrogance was staggering. They weren't just cheating. They were enjoying the game, and I was the pawn they were sacrificing. The breaking point came one rainy Tuesday. I came home early, hoping to surprise her, maybe try to talk, to fix whatever was broken. I found her in our bedroom, on a video call, and there he was. Mark. I could see his face on her laptop screen. He was handsome, I guess, with a smug, self-satisfied look. They were planning a trip to Italy, our trip, the one we had been saving for our 20th anniversary. She was showing him pictures of the Amalfi Coast, places I had bookmarked, places I had dreamed of seeing with her. The sound of her laughing with him, planning my dream with another man in my home, shattered the last piece of my heart. I quietly backed out of the room, went down to my car, and just drove. I ended up parked by the lakefront near North Avenue Beach, the gray Chicago skyline, a mirror of my own bleak soul. I just sat there for hours as the rain poured down and I cried. Not just for the betrayal, but for the man I used to be, the happy, trusting man she had destroyed. But in that car, soaked in rain and sorrow, something inside me shifted. The grief turned to ice. The heartbreak turned into cold, hard resolve. She thought I was clueless. She thought I was weak. Fine. I would be what she wanted me to be.
Outside.
But on the inside, I was going to war. I started gathering evidence with a chilling new focus. I installed a keylogger on the home computer. I recovered deleted texts and emails using software I found online. I hired a private investigator, a retired cop who knew the city inside and out. He gave me everything. Photos of Sarah and Mark kissing outside that restaurant on Rush Street. Hotel check-in records. A detailed timeline of their affair that spanned over a year. He even found out who Mark was, a married real estate developer with 2 kids and a wife who, like me, was completely in the dark. With a mountain of proof, I went to see the best divorce lawyer in Chicago, not a friendly mediator but a shark. We laid the traps meticulously. I quietly moved all our joint savings into a new account solely in my name, leaving just enough to avoid suspicion. I documented every asset Sarah had acquired for her business using our shared funds. We prepared the divorce petition, citing adultery with irrefutable proof, time to be filed at the exact moment of maximum impact. The social trap was even more satisfying. Sarah's biggest design client was a prominent Chicago socialite, a woman who valued loyalty and family above all else. A woman who also happened to be a close friend of Mark's wife. A discreet, anonymous package was prepared for both of them, containing a highlight reel of their spouse's infidelity. The day of reckoning was Sarah's annual charity design showcase, her biggest night of the year. She was on stage, accepting an award, looking radiant and powerful. She spoke about integrity and passion. It was sickening. Halfway through her speech, a process server walked right up to the stage and handed her the divorce papers. A gasp went through the crowd. Her face went pale. At that exact moment, phones all over the room started buzzing. The anonymous package had been delivered. Mark's wife, who was in the audience, stood up, her face a mask of fury, and walked out. Sarah's biggest client followed her. The room descended into chaos, a sea of whispers and accusatory stares. I was standing in the back, watching it all unfold. Sarah's eyes scanned the crowd, desperate, and finally found mine. There was no love, no sadness in my gaze, just ice. She saw the ghost of the man she had married and understood, in that horrifying instant, that he was gone forever. The fallout was total. Mark's wife filed for divorce, taking him for everything. His business partners, disgusted by the scandal, forced him out. Sarah's business imploded. Clients fled, her reputation in tatters. She was a social pariah. The last time I saw her, she was moving her things out of our house into a small apartment on the city's far west side. The arrogance was gone, replaced by a hollow, desperate shell of the woman she used to be. She tried to speak to me, to apologize, but the words wouldn't come. I didn't say anything. I just watched her go. I won. I got my revenge. I destroyed her life just as she had destroyed mine. I sold the house in Lincoln Park, the one filled with too many ghosts, and moved into a quiet condo overlooking the river. Sometimes late at night I stand at the window and look out at the city lights, and I feel nothing at all. I took everything from her, but it didn't bring back the man I was before. The end.